Hello everybody, my name is Ratnos and welcome to my Mythic Ulgrax the Devourer guide. Now contrary to what my guild makes this boss look like, it's quite an easy boss. This is the first boss of the raid and there aren't too many changes from the lower difficulties, so I will show you what those are in this video. First off, if you run over any of these webs, which spawn, there are a little bit more of them every time they spawn, instead of getting rooted for a few seconds, you get stunned, and that stun lasts 30 seconds, or you have to get broken out by having the webbing on you killed. So that's a little bit more punishing. And then the big change is that this mechanic here, the Carnivorous Contest, now if you soak 2 in a row, you take a bunch of extra damage, so you have to split into 2 soak groups for them. And that grip is really strong. You can see everybody's getting pulled in much more strongly. Gets gripped under the boss, even somebody does, and dies. So that is something that you're going to have to look out for and go farther away from the boss than you'd think. Use Windrush Totem, Stampeding Roar, Time Spiral, Warlock Gateway. Those sorts of effects really, really good against that mechanic. Besides that, P1 doesn't have too much. There's the netting. You can see what happens if somebody gets stunned. They get in that netting and do need to get broken out. And then here's the contest again. I'm in group 2, so I go into this one. And here's Stampeding Roar, Windrush as well. A lot of different effects to kind of help, but you can see even with that movement speed, right? I have 161% movement speed here, and I'm still nearly getting gripped in from that distance, so you do have to be careful of that. Depending on your class, you may need to really respect it, or use a Warlock Gateway. Now here comes the intermission phase, which these do have a new add type that will spawn, and also the boss is much more lethal if it hits you, so try not to get hit by the boss charging across the mid. But here are those adds. You can see where they're all going to spawn, and you can also see where the boss is going to charge. And then the new add is this Bile-Soaked spawn. These can be tanked, and they start ramping up this debuff on them that will cause them to do more and more damage to like random players. So you want to get them grouped up, get them killed nice and fast, ideally. And as long as you do that, we're talking about pretty much the same phase here as the lower difficulties. So you see we started losing a lot of people here. Not the cleanest kill ever, but you get these adds killed. Everybody picks up some of the chunky viscera, runs them into the boss, and there's not too much else to this phase. If you have everybody alive, each one that you feed goes for 4 energy. So 4 times 20 is 80. So that's still not enough, so you do need to have a couple of people, I guess, run twice. Or you can bring some adds over and kill them over here so you don't have to run quite as far. But yeah, that's the only difference there. And then you get back into the main phase, and it just keeps happening. As you can see, this Hungering Bellows is ramping up in damage every time. But it's not too lethal even here, as we've let it go for quite a while. We get into that stage 1 again, and it's just a rinse and repeat at this point. You can see we had 4 people die, so we lost a lot of damage. So I'm going to skip ahead now and show you what this looked like at the end of this pull, because what we found out is that this boss does have a Berserk. So our damage slowed down quite a bit. We did a lot more intermissions. Things got a lot sketchier. We had even more deaths. Here's what the final few seconds of probably the least clean Ulgrax the Devourer kill to ever happen looks like for us here. As the boss does go Berserk, we found out, at the 10-minute mark. So it's a nice 2 encounter if you get over that point. And what we actually end up doing, it's not one of the bosses that goes taunt immune when it berserks. So here's how we killed this. I taunted and ran away. And we had the last 2.5% of the boss here with a few people alive. Onks coming out to get us a little bit more damage. The boss gets a damage amp when it doesn't hit enough people. If you don't hit enough people with that soak, the Carnivorous Contest, it'll get this damage amp. But the boss already has a Berserk, so we don't care about it getting even more of a damage amp, and we just taunt it back and forth and kill the boss. So try not to have the end of the boss look like this. That was how it looked for us, though. Hope you enjoyed this video. Good luck out there as you get started into Mythic progression. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.